Okay, in this one we are going to add, let me turn this audio skimming off. The final parts, we're going to add the opening text and the closing text. So that is, come over here, let me turn this back on. I'm going to click on the Friends video and hit V on the keyboard. I'm going to click, well, select a few of those, turn those off, and I'm going to select a few of those and turn those off so you can see the beginning and the end. So at the beginning of Friends, you'll see that nothing really happens for the first, well, if you watch the little time code right here, nothing really happens until we get to right about here. So maybe for a full second, nothing happens. And then the video and the text comes in really quick. So probably 4 frames. And then it's on the whole time until we get to this first marker, and then it changes. All right. And then I'll watch over here. Here we go, and I think it's right here at this last marker. We get a new clip, and again, it fades on like in 4 frames. And then it goes, and now they've got a little thing going on where the lights in the building actually go down, but we don't really care. So it goes to right about here, and you can actually see where the sound fades out. So it goes, and then a little bit longer of a fade, maybe twice as long, maybe 8 frames. If I go here and I hit down and I go left with my arrow key on the keyboard, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I would say half a second, so 15 frames. So we're going to do something similar. We're going to take this and we're going to copy it over here. So I'm going to turn those back on. I'm going to turn these back on, select them, hit V. And now I'm going to copy this whole thing. I'm going to Option drag. Oh, snapping needs to be on. Make sure you click on the gray bar here, okay? Not anywhere else. Just, I know the instructions say something different. They say, where? Option drag title without just blue part, blah, blah, blah. We can take care of that. Just do what I do in the video. You'll be fine. So I'm going to click here. Mine happens to be Robert Downey Jr. And I'm going to click and Option drag until the left side of my new copy comes right there. So I'm holding down the Option key, and now I'm going to click on this little gray title there, the part there. And if you see it dragged like I do, then yours is good. And I'm going to watch that left side. As soon as I get that line right there, I'm going to let go. Now this just happens to be too long. It needs to end right here. So I'm going to zoom in. So Command plus 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 until I see these little symbols. I'm going to slide to the right. I need this to end right here. So again, put your mouse, make sure you're using the arrow tool, the select tool. Put it right in between those 2 triangles. And when you see your cursor change like this, then click and drag until the right side snaps right there. So the right side of this thing is even with this marker. Now, we don't need, I believe in the video, so let me select these 2, and I'm going to hit, actually I'm going to select these 3 things here, and I'm going to hit the letter V. V? Come on. Invisible. Oh, come on. Here. I have to click the blue. Invisible. Invisible. I want to watch. So the word, oh, and turn snapping off. So the word friends stays. It doesn't fade out or anything. It just goes off. And that's what I'm getting at. So let me turn these back on one at a time. So I don't need this transition. So click on the end, on the out transition, select it, then use your backspace key or the delete key. All right. So now that's gone, and we have it coming in right there. But we don't want it to say Robert Downey Jr. We want it to say Civil War. And I think it said 2 lines of text, add a bullet point between each shot. Oh, all right. So my text right here, it needs to be like that. So I'm going to copy this like it is here. Copy. I'm going to come back over to Final Cut. I'm going to click once on this Robert Downey Jr. I do need my inspector open. And I need to make sure I'm on this part right here. I want to replace Robert Downey Jr. Paste. I'm going to click at the W and I want to backspace, backspace, backspace to where the L and the W are right together, and I'm going to hit Enter. All right. So now what that did is it made them 2 lines. Now the title needs to be a little higher. This is exactly in the same place as the oh my gosh, where is it? The Robert Downey Jr. text, which we don't want. The title needs to be, okay, let me hit V, It needs to be kind of at the top. And this looks like it's really a little above center. So I'm going to click V to turn that back on, here to turn this back on, and look at the instructions. The Y value is going to be at positive 130. The font size is going to be 150, so let's take care of that. So again, coming in the inspector with this thing selected, come down and make sure you're on this. Come down to where you see the Y value. And oh my gosh, I forgot already. What did it say? 150. So I'm going to change. I'm just going to click on this and type in a 150, enter. That's good. And then I'm going to come back over here and we wanted a, let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. 130 and 150 is the size. That makes sense. So make this 130 and the size is up here. 150. There we go. Now the dots are another story. In order to get the dots, this is how I do it. So I'm going to hide this, which is hit V. Let's see. And I'm going to click on the words. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to select that dot right there, just like that. Come down here. And this is very tedious. I'm going to come down where it says face and show. And right here, color. I'm going to click color. I'm going to click this eyedropper. I'm going to put the eyedropper, see that little square in the middle? I'm going to put that right over that dot right there. And now it made that dot that color. I'm going to go to the top, select this one, come down, click the eyedropper, come up and get that second dot right. Where is it? Oh my gosh. Right there. It changed that one. I'm going to come over here and get this one. Oops. And I'll speed this up if I have to. Well, maybe not. Click the eyedropper. And I'm going to go for that dot. Click the eyedropper. And get it kind of right on the center of that. There we go. And the next one, select that. And I'm going to get that drop. Click the eyedropper. Come over here. Get that. And if I turn this clip off, you can see kind of what it looks like. Turn it back on. And I'm just going to pick 2 colors here. So eyedropper, what the heck? Maybe this one, right? Where is it? There. Oh, I know why I didn't select it. So I got to go back to the text. That's why. Back to the text, select the dot for war. Eyedropper. And I don't know what color I want. That one. Why didn't it do it? Okay. I think there's a glitch here. So I'm going to close the color. This is selected. I'm going to come down to face, hit show, hit this. I'm back where I was. Click this. And I'm going to get this color right there. There it goes. Go back up to the top. Select that dot. Click the dropper. And maybe I want this one. Anyway, and you can pick whatever colors. Try to match your best. Close that. I am now going to make this part invisible, make this part visible, and practice scrubbing over there. There we go. Friends Civil War. And there's one last thing on the text. It said change the tracking to 20%. So let me show you that. Click on this. I don't need to select any special words now. In fact, I may want to make sure I select it all. And the tracking, again, make sure you're here and you got the inspector open. The tracking, I think it said 20%. The tracking may be without those spaces. Yeah. So, oops, oh my gosh. 20%, hit enter. Yeah. So if you don't have a space between the letters, that's when the tracking mattered. So let's just get rid of the tracking. I'm going to put that back, put that back. I'm going to come over here, select all this. I'm going to get rid of that tracking, make the tracking at 0. I will change it in the instructions so you don't have to worry about it. So by the time you watch this video, I will get rid of that step right there. Okay, so now that's Civil War, and we're going to go to the end, and I'm going to command minus, 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 and I'm going to go to the end, and I want to steal this one, just because the drop shadow is all good. I'm going to click here, and click on the gray and hit Option Drag off to the side, and I'm going to zoom in. It doesn't matter where I let go as long as it's off to the side here. Don't have an overlap because we're going to take care of this. Command plus, plus, plus. Here's the end. I want it to start right here, and I want it to end right there. So I'm going to click in between here. I'll drag it to that. Oh, snapping needs to be on. Click right there. And then this is going to go right here. And I believe, let me see if I remember right. Hit that, turn that off, turn that off, turn this one on, and snapping off. It fades in a little bit, yep. And then it gradually fades out. Okay, so I'm going to turn them back on. Turn that one off for kicks anyway. This is going to be a 4. This one we said 15. So I'm going to click once on this one, double click right here, and type in a 1.5, enter. So now my snapping's off, so you can see it actually fades out like that. And now this is going to be the created by. So I've got created by is going to be 65, and we're going to get rid of the tracking. Well, actually the tracking might matter here, so we'll do that. So 65 point Y value here. So here we go. Click this, and what do we say? Created by? Yeah. So I'm going to change this to created by. And oh, lowercase b. Okay. Created by. And we want the font size to be what? 65. So I've got it selected. I'm going to change this to 65. And the Y value is going to be at 160. So we'll come down. The Y value position, positive 160. Is it? Yeah. So right there. And we're going to come down here. The next one. Okay, now we're going to duplicate this. We want this whole thing duplicated. So select the gray. And this time we're going to option drag up. So click option and drag up. And let me undo this because I should have snapping on when I do that. So snapping on, come here, click the gray, option drag up to where they're right above each other. You'll see all those lines lining perfectly up. And it doesn't matter which one's which, but one of them I'm going to click and change to my name. So on the bottom one, because, you know, this is on top, this is on the bottom. I'm going to put my name. And the font size needs to be what? For your name, 120 point with a -70. Okay, so 120 point font. And the Y value is a -70. Where's the Y value? Click right there, -170. And we're going to do the tracking 20% on both. So I'm going to click this one. And where's the tracking? I'm just going to click right on the 0 and type a 20. Spreads it out a little bit. Click on this one. Come to tracking, wherever that is. Click the 0, hit 20, and go. And I think that might be it. Okay. There's a little bit more. Oh, let me turn snapping off and I'll see how that looks. All right, I'm going to Shift Z. Everything here is turned off. I'm going to click on this one right here and hit play, spacebar. Okay, I'm going to come over here. That looked good. Okay, so that's not bad. That's not bad. So now for this one here, you've done these two things. I'm going to edit this right now. And I'm going to get rid of the tracking on one. Right here. We don't want the tracking on this one. So we'll get rid of step 4. There we go. You don't have a step 4 there anymore. Oh, you do. Just anyway. So now to turn this assignment in, you're going to make sure you've zoomed to fit. So make sure you can see your entire project. Now, mine is in grandma mode. That's as small as I can get it. Because I've got my screen resolution really cranked. But that's all right. Yours will look, you'll have a little more space here. I can't see everything in mine, but you'll have a little more space. And it also says, close the inspector. And that's the most important thing I need to see right there. Oh, the text, all of that fades out. Oh, there's a fade in on the video too. Let's add that in right now. So the same length of fade in on the text is what we're going to do on that first clip, and the same fade out on the video is what we're going to add there. So let's go do that. And it's a cross dissolve. So on this clip, I'm going to come to here, go to cross dissolve, slide this over to where you can see it, add the cross dissolve right on top. So put it right on top, and you'll see it does this. Don't let it freak you out. We want to get rid of this one, and don't worry about all that. This we're going to click on, double click here, and type a 1.5, and now that matches. All right. So that fades out. So he comes in, and then it fades out at the same time as the text. And the same thing is going to happen over here. We're going to put a cross dissolve on that one. Click over here, drag it right on top. Make sure it's got a white border around it. Not here, not there, not in front, not after. If it does anything other than a white border, hit undo. Now that's way too much, so we're going to click that one and delete it. And I'm going to click this one and double click here to make it 4 frames and hit enter. So now that's the same amount. Don't worry about that gray bar being over the top of a few things. That just, you will never know. Oh, and I need to kill that audio. I didn't see that. Yeah. So now when it comes in, let me hit play. Yeah, you can't really tell, but it does fade in. And then over here, let me come right to the end here, hit spacebar. Like that. And that's done. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to close that. I'm going to hit Shift Z. I would take my screenshot. Make sure this is all, invisible by clicking on it, hit the letter V, and then you're done. Export your video. Apple devices. Well, yeah, let's see. Apple devices, settings, computer. Make sure this says MP4. On the info part, make sure your title says that. You don't need to worry about any of this crap in there. You can select it all, delete it. This will be your name, which isn't really, who cares? I'm never going to notice that. But if you want to make sure it's good, do that. Make sure this is set for computer. Make sure this is 720. Make sure this says MP4. Save only. You don't want anything else here. Then hit next. You've already got your screenshot because you turned your screenshot in. Well, actually, hopefully you got your screenshot and you turned it in for this. That's for this one. You get 20 points for that. Then next is submit your video. So you get another 100 points for doing what I just did, and you'll be good. This one's rendering still, or exporting. And it's almost done. Yeah, that was pretty quick. And you might get a notification up here somewhere. Maybe not. Anyway, pay attention to where you did it, and then you're done.